Shalom. I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, one acknowledge the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. I like Ezekiel 3. You know, I've done this lesson in the past. It's been a little while, so I'm gonna do it again. And I'll just start on 3 and 1. It says, Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. All right. So the prophets are commanded to eat the roll, which is the scripture. And then when you learn this roll, when you learn the scroll or the roll, when you eat it, you digest this truth. Then you're supposed to go out and speak it unto the house of Israel. But you got to speak it according to sound doctrine. You can't just, you can't just pop off at the mouth. You got to literally, you got to be taught by prophets, other prophets. You got to be taught by men, okay? Let me get this verse real quick. It's in Acts 8 and 31. All right, so we swallow the scroll, right? We read the scroll, we study it, and then we go and teach. But we have to be taught. Acts 8 and 30, it says, And Philip ran thither to him. And he's talking about the, I'll start 29. Because the Spirit jumped on Philip to go teach this Ethiopian man who was in a chariot. And again, the man was raised in Ethiopia, but he was actually an Israelite who was raised in Ethiopia. But anyway, Acts 8 and 29. Then the Spirit said unto Philip, Go near and join thyself to this chariot. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? So the dude from Ethiopia he was in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is the Greek way of saying Isaiah. So he was reading Isaiah, and Philip says, Hey, do you understand what you're reading? And the Ethiopian was humble because he was an Israelite, seeking the knowledge, seeking the truth. He didn't act like he knew everything or he was a know-it-all. He didn't act like, because a lot of these people, a lot of these Christians, they want to be, instead of one deep, they try to be two deep, right? So they try to act like they know it all and they understand. But this man had a spirit of humbleness, a meek spirit, like I've been going into this past week. And let's see what he said. And I'll start at 30 again. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. The place of the scripture which he read was this: He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his mouth. So anyway, the scripture he was reading was in Isaiah 53, which he talks about Yahushai. But he had to be taught by Philip, the Ethiopian man who was an Israelite, who was scattered in Ethiopia. He had to be taught by Philip, and he had a humble spirit. He says, How can I understand what I'm reading unless somebody guides me? See? Since we're in that spirit of the teachers, the prophets, let's get another verse. I think it's Isaiah 20 and 10. Or it's either 20 and... No, it's either 30 and 20, maybe. Yep. Isaiah 30 and 20. And though Yahweh give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. All right? So this is what it is. Your eyes are going to see your teachers, especially in these last days. The prophets are being raised up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in the spirit. And it's prophecy that you're able to see your teachers. All right? We're not removed into a corner anymore, like it said. Now we're on these videos. We're on the street corners, all over Babylon, America, all over, scattered throughout the world. The eyes are seeing the teachers. The elect are seeing the teachers on YouTube. All right, the internet does the heavy lifting. Let me see how much life I got here. 13%. All right, I'll keep going. So I might not get through the whole Ezekiel 3, but let me see where we at. Ezekiel 3. So remember, we're supposed to eat the roll and then go speak unto the house of Israel, and meaning teach the house of Israel the scriptures, the Bible. Verse 2, so I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat the roll. Eat that roll, meaning the Lord caused Ezekiel to read the scripture, to eat it, right? Just like he told John in chapter, was it John 10? He told him to read it. The angel told John to read the little book, which was the Bible. Let me grab that account real quick. John 10. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. It was John the Revelator. Let me go to that. So it was Revelation 10. It says, Revelation 10 and 7, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of the Most High should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets. Remember, he declares his secrets and his mystery to his prophets. And his prophets are the teachers. That's what that word prophet means, teacher. Verse 8, and the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again and said, go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and the earth. So he told John the Revelator to go and take the little book. And let's see what he said. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up. Just like he told Ezekiel, right, in the chapter that we're reading. He said, and take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but that it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. All right? So he told John the Revelator, all right, it's going to, take it up, eat it up. It's going to be bitter in your belly and sweet in your mouth. Because like we always tell you, when you learn you're an Israelite, it's sweet, right? That's the sweet part. But then when you start to really, delve deep into the truth and the knowledge, this truth becomes a burden. It becomes a vexation. We get that, like we read earlier, the water of affliction, the bread of adversity, right? And then also Ecclesiastes 1:18, it tells you, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So you see, that's that bitter part of this, about this truth. It's sweet, but then it's bitter. Like, I'll give you another example. It's you first learn the truth, you want to tell all your loved ones, you want to tell all the people in your family. You think they're going to accept it, and like the way you accepted it. But then when you start to tell them the truth and to teach them, then they become offended, because they want to. They could be of the 2/3 of your family, So that's part of the bitterness of this truth. Because the people you love, they don't receive it like you do. So that's a bitter thing, you see. Let's go back to Ezekiel 3. And those are just a few examples of the bitterness, because there's sweetness to this truth and there's bitterness to this truth. Because you have to remember, let me grab Proverbs 11:1 real quick. The sweet and the bitter, Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. So that's that balance, the sweet and the bitter. It's balanced out in this truth. And the more, the more we study, the more we become a part of this truth, the more we understand this wisdom and knowledge, the more we understand balance. Okay? Let's go back to Ezekiel 3, and I'm barely at verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. Verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. And we keep stressing that, we don't use our own words. The prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai don't use their own words. We use the words of the Bible. We use the scriptures. And if we are those men, we are those prophets, and I pray I'm in that number, that 144,000, then guess what? The Spirit's going to work with us, and we'll be able to break these scriptures down and teach. Just like we're reading here in Ezekiel 3, right? He says, speak my words unto them. Now, you don't go speak your own words to the house of Israel. You speak the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Verse 5. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Right, we go out to teach. We're not. It's not like he told us, go speak to somebody who doesn't speak our language. No, the Israelites in Babylon, America, they speak English. The majority of them. They're not. We're not speaking to them from a different tongue or a different speech. But that's how hard-headed our people are. Because even though we speak the same language, they're still hard-headed, right? Verse 6. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Yahweh was like, man, these people that don't even speak the same language as you are going to listen better than these Israelites that speak the same language that you speak. That's how stubborn his people are. Verse 7, but the house of Israel, which are you so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans, will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Right. See, our people are hard-headed, hard-hearted, stubborn. The Israelites are stubborn, man. Let me get that word impudent. It says cheeky, audacious, brazen, shameless. Those are all similar words. The actual definition of impudent, not showing due respect for another person, impertinent. So that's how these people are. They don't show reverence for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They're disrespectful, presumptuous, insubordinate, forward, insulting. These are all similar words, okay? But you get the point. Lippy, mouthy. That's what impudent means. Yeah, the Israelites, man, they always got a lot to say when it comes to this truth. They think they have so much wisdom and knowledge, but they don't understand unless you're like that Ethiopian that I read in the book of Acts, chapter 8, with that humble spirit. If you're not like him, then you're if you're brash and mouthy and lippy and audacious, guess what? You're not going to learn anything. You're going to end up thinking you know it all, and then when the end comes, when the destruction comes, you're not even going to know the names to call on, to say it for your salvation. You'll be calling on false names that your oppressor gave you because you think you knew it all. Oh, you got a big mouth, you know? What's it say in Ezra? Let's see. Let me get that real quick. Actually, it's Ecclesiastes. I always think it's Ezra for some reason. Yeah. Here it is. Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they do not consider that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart, which is your heart is your mind, so let not thy mind be hasty to utter anything before the Most High, for the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. All right? So when you're learning in this knowledge and this truth, you don't want to be, show. This is not a time for you to show off how much you know about the Bible. No, it's a wise person, someone who's meek, is going to shut the F up and listen and learn, right? And that goes for all the prophets. Like, when we are in the presence of our elders, do you think we're going to speak over the elders? Do you think we're going to talk over the elders or break down the scriptures when the elders breaking them down? No, you got to use wisdom, man. There's a time to speak and there's a time to be quiet. So if you're in the right spirit, you'll be able to discern and know when to speak and when not to speak. And just like that Ethiopian, I keep bringing him up as the example. He didn't act like he knew it all. He humbled himself. He said, how can I understand what I'm reading unless another man taught me? You see? See, and our people are fucking, they think they think that because, yes, our people all have a zeal, which is a passion, but not according to knowledge, as it is written in Romans 10:2. It says, for I bear them record that they have a zeal, which that means passion. So I'll read it like that. For I bear them record that they have a passion of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Yeah, so our people are passionate about this truth. Even if they don't know the truth, they're passionate. They write their spirit. But guess what? Just because you're passionate doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. Let's read verse 3. For they, being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. Right, when you come in this knowledge, this truth, you're supposed to submit to you have to listen to your teacher. The teacher, the prophets are the mouth of Yahweh. All right, let's get that. Luke 1:70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Right. Yahweh speaks through his mouth, which are his prophets. Okay? Like I say, man, if Elder Tahar came to the Denver camp or Elder Gabar came to the Denver camp, do you think we would be sitting there talking over them? Or you think we would be sitting there trying to teach them? No, that there's order in this knowledge, in this truth. Everything is done in order in this. When you come into this truth, you understand and you learn that everything is done in order. Let's get that verse. There's an order in this, all right? Let's get it real quick. And if you can't follow the order or you can't submit to the order, then guess what? you're not gonna last in this truth. That goes for anybody who's in a part of this thing. Whenever I speak on things, it goes for me too. Even Elder Gabar, he stays in order. You watch the videos, you watch the camps of our elders. Elder Gabar, he's number 2 in line. You never see him, override Elder Apostle Tahar or, He's in order. He stays in order. And that's how we are in this truth. 1 Corinthians 14:40, it says, the last verse. Ooh, I'm going to read 39. Nah, yeah, I guess I could read it. Well, I'll read 38. It says, but if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Right, and the tongues are different languages. It's not that all that other mambo jumbo gibberish stuff. No, it's speaking in different languages. And the point is, verse 40, let all things be done decently and in order. All right, so there's always an order in this truth. And if you go out the order, if you you despise the order or the correction, like I say, man, you're not gonna last in this truth. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is gonna spew you out the mouth, as it says in a Revelation. He says, if you're lukewarm in this truth, he's gonna spew you out of his mouth. Ezekiel 3. We're going back to Ezekiel, and I'm at verse 8. It says, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. Right. So the Lord, when we're out there teaching on the street, guess what? Our foreheads, meaning that's where what is in your forehead? Your mind, right? Your brain. So our mind is stronger than anybody that comes up against us because of this truth. Because of the truth that we bring. And it's through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that has given us the spirit to teach, given us the spirit to learn, and then teach. But guess what? Because we are those men, Lord's will, I'm in that number. Guess what? We're strong. Our foreheads are stronger against theirs. And this is talking about the 2/3, the heathen. I mean, not the heathen, the 2/3 of Israel. Because the 2/3 of Israel, they're the ones who are the most stubborn and hard-headed, and want to sit here and argue about what they know. Instead of listening, they don't know how to. The 2/3, they don't know how to keep a humble spirit. They want to tell you what they know, and then when you tell them the truth, they're going to get mad at you and they're going to hate you at the end of the day. And but guess what? Our forehead is stronger than theirs, meaning our understanding. All right, verse 9. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Right. We're strong-minded, basically, what that's saying. And we're strong-minded in this knowledge, in this truth. Not according to being ignorant, not according to lies, but it's according to the Spirit. We're strong-minded in this truth. As simple as that. Right? And then verse 9 also says, fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. See, so we're not to go out there with fear. And trust me, when the Spirit's working with you, you don't have fear. Because what's the strongest thing in the earth? The truth is. If you have the truth, there's no fault in truth. There's nothing that can make truth be wrong. If you have the truth, you have the truth, man. So therefore, you don't have to be fearful, and you can be bold as a lion when you have the truth. Verse 10. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. Yeah, all the words of Scripture, receive it in your mind, in your heart. It says, and go, get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith Yahweh the power, the Most High, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. So our job as the teachers, as the prophets, is to go talk to the children of the captivity, which are the Israelites. You Israelites this is slavery for us. Babylon, America, slavery. That's why you have a social security number. That's why you got to go work a 9-to-5. All right. That's why you got to pay all your bills, because you're subject to payments as it tells you in Baruch, right? What is that? Baruch, was it 3 and 4? 4 and 3 maybe? Baruch 4, 3? No, let me figure it out. I'll get this one. Subject to payments, KJV. Okay, Baruch 3 and 8. I was close. 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power. You see? So that's why we got to go to the 9 to 5, because you got to pay your bills. You're subject to payments. You're enslaved. All right? But you can't tell the 2/3 they're a slave. They think they're free. Ezekiel 3 and again, the 2/3 are the wicked portion of our nation. 2/3 of our people, according to biblical prophecy, are not going to hearken or not going to listen to the truth. They're going to stay in the lies, whatever false doctrines they're a part of, they're going to stay in that. And that's Bible prophecy. Ezekiel 3 and where am I at? Oh yeah, and it says in 11, it says, thus saith Yahweh thy power, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. So our job is to go out and teach, and it don't matter if they listen to us or if they don't listen to us. It tells you right here. Speak into their ears, and it says, doesn't matter whether they hear or whether they forbear. So you just, if you're a teacher, you go out and teach the word. Remember, you swallow the scroll. It's sweet in the mouth, bitter in the stomach. But guess what? You go out there and teach, and it don't matter whether they hear you or whether they forbear you. If they forbear you, they curse yourself. We're literally walking vessels that are going to bring curses on people or blessings on people. All right? Verse 12, then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, blessed be the glory of Yahweh from this place. All right? And you heard a voice out of the chariot, which is what you call a UFO. In verse 13, it says, oh, I got 5%. I better get through this. Where am I at? 13. I heard also the noise of wings of living creatures that touched one another, and the noise of wheels over against them, and the noise of a great rushing. Where it's describing the chariot, right? What you call a UFO. Verse 14. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. So he was feeling, through the Spirit, Ezekiel was feeling he saw the chariot. He was, Yahweh was dealing with him, giving him the message to go swallow, through the angel, right? He said, swallow the roll. It's going to be sweet in your mouth and bitter in your stomach. Get ready to teach, he was telling him, basically. Go teach my people. He's all, but guess what? It's going to be bitter for you. That's why he says, the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. So meaning, even though you go through the like I said, sweet in your mouth, and then it becomes bitter when you digest it, even though you have that bitterness, but guess what? We don't got to worry, because we're not going to draw totally faint. Because why? Because Yahweh's hand is strong upon us. I mean, he's got us. All right? He's got us. We don't have to sit there and we don't have to worry, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai got us. All we got to do, brothers, is keep being diligent, keep learning, and keep teaching. All right? If our lot is of the prophets, if that's our job, if that's what Yahweh Bashem Yahshai chose us to do, then just do the work. Do the lessons. Go to camp. All right? Everything is done by its appointed time. you know. So we have to prepare ourselves. Like me, I'll give you my example. When I first came into knowledge and the truth, I literally watched videos and studied for about 2 years before I decided to um, go out and teach. Right, and that was the spirit. Some brothers may need less time. Some brothers may need longer time before they decided. And here's the thing: you want it because of what we're a part of. It's so serious. You don't want to commit to something that you're not gonna be able to commit to, because it's worse for you to have this knowledge and you know for a season and then fall out. I went into that a few lessons back, man. Y'all Bashem Yashai, they'll put you to death. They'll put them death angels on you. You think you want to go back and forth in this knowledge and this truth? No, if you ever decide to be a teacher, you ever decide that the spirit's on you to be a prophet, to go out and teach, and really the spirit will lead you, or the spirit won't lead you, right? Like my mom, she was telling me one day, she's like, well, why don't you tell your brother to go prophesy with you? Because she don't understand. It's like, no, you can't just invite anybody to be a teacher or be a prophet. It's the calling, it's Yahweh that will call them. And again, this is the seriousness and the severity of this, the solemnness of this thing. Look, you can't just because you know someone who's prophesying that means you want to do it. That ain't how it works. It's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that will move you to where you want to do this work. But guess what? If you decide you're going to do the work, you can't look back, man. Looking back is the worst thing you can do. All right? You can't take your hat. It says, as it is written. Let's get this real quick. It's in Luke 9:62, last verse. It says, let me see. Yeah, I'll just read 62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. So what it means is, if you put your hand on the plow, a plow is a working instrument, right? They would plow through the fields. They'd put the oxen, on the plow, and they'd walk through the fields and plow the fields. That was work, right? Considered work. And so Yahweh Shai is saying, if you're going to do the work, you can't look back. You can't go back. I told you my account when I first started teaching, and I had this spirit where I there was no doubt in my mind. I didn't have any doubts in my spirit. I wasn't on the fence or second guessing. The spirit told me it's time to teach. And again, it took me 2 years, like I said, before the Lord put that spirit on me. All right. So, everyone's different, but I'm just sharing my account. But the worst thing you can do is get involved in this truth and this knowledge, which is putting your hand on the plow, meaning doing the Lord's work, and then look back or fall out of this truth. It has happened, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and I said this in a few lessons back. When that happens, Yahweh Bashem Yashai is worse than the mafia. He's worse than the mob. He'll put your ass to death, or he'll throw you in prison. Like that's what happened to brothers close to our own camp. All right. So anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I'm gonna go ahead and close out on that. I hope the lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Salakia. How about Shem Yoshai? Our double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect.